just a little bit leg-sidey from Bumrah on that occasion. He's bowling. He's getting a nice sort of pleasing thud into the bat, Bumrah, which is what he does when he's not bowling. He's not bowled badly in this Test match. It just hasn't quite clicked.
Yeah, he just hasn't got the rhythm. I think he needs a run. As this is well outside off stump, and Rishabh Pant takes it in front of first slip. There is no run.
Ball's still moving after it passes the bat, even relatively late in the Test match. That was a leave on sort of fifth stump, and Punt ended up taking it in front of first and a half slip.
I know you've said that his pace has been good, but I think Bumrah's been 2 or 3 miles an hour below his best. There's a lot at 85, 86 when at his best he's often at around 90. We've very seldom seen 90 from Bumrah in this match. He's in again, and this beats the outside edge. That's a very decent ball, having given him a bit of stick, and goes through to the keeper.
Yeah, 86 on the speed gun, but it did. He does get this awkward lift from a length Bumrah and a little bit of seam movement as well.
Yeah, he's definitely a man who zips the ball off the surface, and that zipped off the surface. It went past. It was pretty much length, and it went past around waist height of Latham, who gave a little nod of recognition to Bumrah for the good ball. But as yet, he hasn't got a wicket in this Test, but he's striving for one now. This is another absolute beauty. That was Fuller, and that drew Latham forward, who was beaten all ends up by a ball that both swung and seamed. Really,
really good from Bumrah. India have been very keen on hammering away on a good length to try and get the batter coming forward and hitting it on the splice. That was a genuinely full delivery, and Latham wasn't quite fully forward to it. Luck by judgment that he missed that.
No, it was good work from Bumrah, because the previous ball had got up a little bit, so Latham was just slightly on his back foot, and these are tiny margins when you're at this level, and that's what caused the defeating of the bat. And that's another just beautiful ball from Bumrah. So the moment I said he wasn't worth an over, he has bowled absolutely beautifully. It was full, and it was on middle stump, and Latham got nowhere near it as it screamed past his outside edge.
I wonder if you could just slip in the Yorker at the end of this over. I don't tend to see it very much in Test cricket. It is more of a limited overs thing, but we know that Bumrah can bowl them seemingly on demand.
They've got limited overs to work with now.
Yeah,
well, indeed, yes.
They need to take wickets.
A minimum of 42.
This is an important ball here. It's only one, but in a chase like this, individual deliveries can be important. Can he finish this over? And Latham, to his credit, gets right in behind one that was top of off stump. So Bumrah got it right, but so did Latham. It's the end of a very good over there, just the one leg by from it. New Zealand 22 without loss, the target 139.
Lots of people piling in on Cricket Tracker India. Mohammed Yousaf was answering a question that a few people had asked. How many overs remaining? Well, we're now down to 42. It was 43 when he wrote that answer.
It is just that it's a minimum.
Shurav Jakaria says Jadeja, number one all-rounder, will take 10 wickets now. That might be wishful thinking. Patel Akashe is just saying hi. So hi to you. And so many more of you. I'm just going to name 2 or 3 very quickly. AJ Goswami, Kankan Talukdar, Pratham Rajaria, and Parvesh Shiokand, and Babu Singh. Hello to all of you.
Round the wicket comes Ashwin, very full, and just met with a dead bat by Devon Conway, and there is no run. Has anybody ever played at a ground closer to their name as this ball is defended and there is no run? In that Hampshire isn't that far from Devon, is it? It's a long way from New Zealand, or indeed South Africa.
Well, I mean, Devon Conway played for Taunton Dean about 10 years ago, so that would be a bit closer.
That's even closer still. This is tossed up by Ashwin, very full, but Conway is resisting the drive, and he's just pushing that into the offside. I do think he needs short leg here. He hasn't even got a leg slip. Virat. This is defended, and there is no run.
They're trying to hang it out.
You've got to crowd him, make him feel as though he's not amongst friends, as the Australians say.
I certainly think you can get one more in there. Conway has a little bit of a, certainly in New Zealand first-class cricket, limited sample size, but hasn't done that well against off-spin.
round the wicket and comes down the track, does Conway, and of course he can do that because if he does get a little inside edge, there's nobody there to catch it.
It's kind
on
of
either side of the wicket.
It's a bit of a mirror image, but when Jack Leach bowled so well to Sateshwar Pujara, he put in a silly mid-off, and Pujara loves to come forward, and it did create some indecision. Good ball.
It did, and that ball is defended. It's a decent over from Ashwin, but it met the broad bat of Conway, Hampshire Conway, as I'm tempted to call him, and a maiden was Ashwin's reward.
Right, yes, Tony. There's someone called Tony, not me. Simply says, cheating bugger. I think he's talking about whoever was backing up and when Ashwin was bowling. Jeff Perkins says, even more exciting than the prospect of win for New Zealand is that of one on the GPL. Well, yes, indeed. Someone else replying that, yes, it's the batsman that's cheating in the event of overrunning. Gabby Plain for Prime Minister says, how do we go about splitting the title? Cut the physical mace in half?
Longitudinally, I think down the middle, so one gets left half of mace. Otherwise, one person ends up with the orb on the end, and the other one just ends up with basically a stick.
Brian Barris suggests it changes hands on rotating days.
Latham on strike to Bumrah, so he's back under pressure, but Latham gets one outside off stump, and he's had a change of plan during the Ashwin over, and he puts back to ball and sends it to the right of said Ashwin, retreating from mid-off, and they're through for, I think, 3 there. Yes, they are. New Zealand go to 25 without loss.
A little bit more length from Bumrah. Nicely played by Latham, just checked the stroke.
Yeah, he got his front foot across to the line of the off stump. It was still a slightly crooked bat, but he was nicely balanced when he played the shot. He wasn't reaching for it. And that brings Devon Conway onto strike. Almost preternaturally calm, Devon Conway. It's hard to believe it's still only his 3rd Test match. And Bumrah is in. It goes down the offside, down the leg side, and a sprawling Rishabh Pant can't get to that. And they look to the umpire, who I think has signalled that. No, it's 4 leg by, so it took a bit of thigh pad. No blame attached to Pant. It was not a good ball from Bumrah, and really all that was required of Conway was to let the ball hit a bit of bat or a bit of thigh pad, and 4 runs was his reward.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I really do think they are almost bowling for the strangle, but they should have a leg gully in if they're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to put the man in. You've got to, if that's going to be your line, then you've got to have the field for it. And Conway leaves on length there. It was almost Mike Hussey. If you can remember Mike Hussey, who would leave so successfully on length, having grown up at the Wacker, then Devon Conway, who's grown up on the hard wickets of South Africa, also left that on length. It goes through to keeper.
Gary, have you frozen? You've disappeared?
No, I was waiting for some intervention. Having done the ball by ball, occasionally I do let some room in.
Suffice to say, we were so surprised by the seconds or 2 silence, we didn't quite know what to do with it.
I did try to. Yeah, as this ball goes past the outside edge, and Rishabh Pant, who's had a good Test match but a challenging one behind the stumps, does his job. There is no run. Yes, it has been no.
Carry's been good in this. There's been the odd one that's grubbed through, but the carry's been by and large very good. I think Simon Lee, the Hampshire head curator, as they say in the States, and his team deserve a lot of credit for producing a pitch this good with this much weather around.
Yeah, I think it's been.
Must have left his rake in the shed this time.
I think it's been a pretty good wicket, mainly because it's had a bit of pace and carry, as you've said. This is the 6th day as well, as this is driven by Devon Conway. I mean, that is a fine shot. It's a check drive. We've seen a lot of pushes in this match, but that was an authentic drive, and he gets his full reward for it.
Yeah, it's all very well saying pitch the ball up, and that was by no means a half volley, but it was fuller. But Conway looked so good through the offside, for all that he looked a little awkward on the leg at times. But he seems to get himself into a position where he basically doesn't have to do anything other than put the bat there.
Yeah, just lovely balance, played it under his nose. Round the wicket goes Bumrah, and this is through to Latham and there is no run. We've got to get Jadeja into this attack. I think India just got to get Jadeja in.
Well, Shocked and Paul says, what's the incentive for India to maintain an adequate over rate before bad light robs New Zealand?
Doesn't matter.
Interesting question. Gabby Plain for Prime Minister says, also another interesting question, how many grounds have stands named after a foreign international cricketer in the same manner as the Shane Warne stand here? Well, don't forget he served Hampshire for many years, did Shane Warne. Of closeness to your name, surely Sir Alistair has on occasion been in the kitchen.
Oh.
Speaking of grounds, says Roger Melly, and names, did we ever find someone named Trent Bridge? Last I heard, the closest we got was Trent Bridges.
It's not bad.
Not Lloyd Bridges.
33 without loss, New Zealand, as Ashwin comes in, and Latham sort of wondered about playing.
And we're back. And we may not be around for too long. That's not being too depressing, but 141 is what Pakistan managed to get, which wasn't a lot. They only batted for 35.2 overs, and England have to chase it down. England, the new look England, which has performed in exemplary fashion so far, Knackle.
Yeah, it was. You couldn't really ask for much more. 2 wickets in the first 3 balls of the match. Saqib was magnificent throughout, really hostile, getting the ball to move at pace. I thought Bryden Cast actually bowled very well despite not taking a wicket. Lewis Gregory was very difficult to get away. I think all of England's bowlers bowled well. I think Craig Overton probably didn't bowl as well as he might have liked, but still ended up with 2 wickets. Parkinson did a very good job, and despite the fact that England dropped a few catches, they really never let Pakistan get away, apart from very brief periods, and they were brilliant.
Yeah, they were. I was quite impressed with Matt Parkinson. The first time I've seen him really bowl a longish spell. I thought he got the ball up there pretty well. Didn't bowl too much that was short and ugly. He got a bit lucky with a wicket. It was a poor shot. That happens sometimes against leg spinners. Even good batsmen can find themselves misjudging or just mishitting a ball, especially when given a little bit of width. And that was a kind of bonus for England, getting Fakhar Zaman at the point that they did, and also getting the run out of Shakib Masood, because those two were going quite well at one point.
Yeah, Fakhar sold Sohaib Masood down the river, really. It was a yes, no, wait, sorry. Vince did well coming in from mid-on. And yes, I mean, it is always difficult when you're 26 for 3. Pakistan, they didn't go into their shell completely, but England kept chipping away and finding a way to take wickets. I think this... I was hearing the Sky commentators talk about it as a 2-pace pitch, and certainly the odd one's bouncing a bit more than you might expect, but I really don't know I don't know if we can really judge the pitch on that first innings, because it started so badly for Pakistan. They never really had a chance to open their shoulders.
I keep hearing this about Sapphire Gardens, and I actually thought the ball was coming onto the bat quite nicely. What I saw of it, and I saw quite a bit of it. But that, they were saying that after at least one of the T20s in Cardiff the other week.
That one was a pretty spongy, slow pitch.
This one looks much better to me. Much better. Anyway, we've got 2 men out there. England are about to begin the reply, and it's this man.
Get up on this. So salt, yeah, Phil is here. Want you to push it good into the offside. Scores runs around the park. There's nowhere you can hide. Push it. So salt, yeah, Phil is here.
He's going to be facing up to the long, lanky, but very effective Shaheen Afridi, who comes in and bowls, swings it into his pad, hits him and appeals. I think that's going down the leg side. Yeah. So does umpire Alex Wharf. And I don't think they are going to review that or even have a look at it. Messi Jez is back with us for the final time today. Messers, how are you doing?
Well, I'm surprised that I'm eating my dinner because they're back earlier than I expected.
Yeah, you never quite know, do you?
Yeah, I don't entirely agree with you about Matt Parkinson. I thought his bowling was pretty ordinary.
Really?
And, I think he was lucky to be...
I think you're being very harsh, Jez.
I thought, there was no real turn for him. Shaheen again hits him on the pad. They're going to get a run this time as it goes behind square leg. Just have to wait and see whether there was a little bit of bat involved there. If so, it will be Phil Salt's first run in one-day international cricket. Seems to be a leg by, so he's still get off the mark. And the other batsman joining him out there is Dawid Malan.
Introducing the next generation David.
That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name.
David Milan, congratulations.
Remarkably, this is only his 4th one-day international for David Malan. The second time opening. Had some personal issues which saw him pull out of the Sri Lanka squad, which meant that he was available to answer the emergency call.
It's funny how things work out, isn't it? He's, of course, left-handed. We've got 3 slips. We had 3 slips early on when England were bowling. There's a backward point, a cover, and a wideish mid-off on the offside, possibly a third man as well. I can't really see him. And that's beautifully stroked by Malan as he just leans into that one, but also beautifully fielded by Imam Ul Haq, who's in that accustomed position at slightly backward of point. He's very good in there.
Grown his hair out a little bit, Imam Ul Haq, since last I saw him. It looks quite good. I think almost Afridi-like locks.
Yeah, very lush, very luxuriant, has to be said. And we were confused, weren't we? For a minute we thought Imam Ul Haq wasn't in this squad because Cricinfo failed to put him on their list. Shaheen in bowls, a straighter one, defended by Malan. Economy of movement from him as he pushes up to mid-on. Zach Crawley waiting with crossed arms. Chance to do something a little different. That said, the fact that they've got 3 slips so early will not be to his liking, I wouldn't have thought.
Shaheen and Hassan, you'd imagine, would open the bowling. Or maybe Hassan bowls in the middle overs a lot. Maybe it'll be Haris Rauf. But you would imagine that Barber would want to keep the slips in for as long as possible.
Shaheen, left armour to left-hander, and he just dabs this down to third man. Collects his first run, and England's second. They go to 2 without loss. The target is 142.
Should we have a jingle for Shaheen Shah Afridi?
Yes, let's do it.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi.
No, not that other guy, and Shaheen.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi.
No, not that other guy, he used to ride the ball.
Shaheen Afridi, Shaheen Afridi.
One of the best young bowlers in the world.
Absolutely. I was going to mention that. Driven by Salt, the final ball of the over, but straight up to mid-off. And there is no run. So 2 from the first over. Have we got any tweets, Messi?
Yes, Ravinair is with us. He says, I was drifting in and out of sleep during the first innings. Please confirm that it was a fever dream that Pakistan were all out for 141 to the England third 11.
Yes, it's absolutely true. It is absolutely true. Saqib Mahmood, 4 for 42. Craig Overton, 2 for 23. Matt Parkinson, 2 for 28. Lewis Gregory with an absolute beauty to get rid of Mohammad Rizwan, 1 for 11. So England are chasing 142 to win. I was going to say that about Shaheen Afridi. It's extraordinary when you look at what he's already done, and he's still only 21. An amazing start to his career. And
I have to say, when I saw Imam fielding that ball, I realised how disappointed I was not to see anything from him or Babar Azam in the first.
Well, yes, two men that average over 50 in one-day internationals. You lose them in the first 3 balls. It kind of sets your plans back a little bit. It's going to be Hassan Ali. We'll jingle him up for the first ball. Just the 2 slips, a ring of 3 on the offside. He's in over the wicket. Bowls to Milan. That's, well, I was going to say that was a little bit wafty. But it's effectively wafty. Over the top of extra cover it goes. And it's 4 runs.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
It's very strong through the covers and over the covers down Milan. It was a long way over Fakhar Zaman in the end. He went through with the stroke.
As it left the bat, I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen it snatched from the air, but when you see the replay, it did clear him by a good 5 or 6 metres in the end. In he comes again, Hassan Ali onto the front foot this time. Good length delivery, played straight into the covers on this occasion, and there is no run.
Here he is, Doobie-Doo.
Hassan Ali, Doobie-Doo. Hassan Ali, Doobie-Doo. Doobie-Doo, Doobie-Doo. Hassan Ali, Doobie-Doo.
Yep, it really is one of the finest guerrilla cricket jingles. The Hassan Ali one, I always look forward to it when Pakistan are touring or when England are playing Pakistan. Here comes Hassan Ali Doobie-Doo again. Bowls onto the back foot this time. Goes Milan and plays it sweetly enough into the covers. There is no run.
Which, to be fair, does seem to happen every year.
It does, it does. We do seem to play Pakistan a lot, which is good because they're always an entertaining team to watch. They've not been that successful on their recent ODI trips to England. They lost the last one 4-0 in 2019, the one before that 4-1, I think I'm right in saying. But they'll be looking to do better, but not really today so far. This is a bit of a false shot from Milan. He came forward trying to drive, again on the up, on a thick inside edge. The ball ran towards mid-wicket, and again there is no run. Don't forget, merchandise. Go to the Gorilla Cricket website. You'll see on the top, across the top, you'll see merch, and there you can buy wonderful t-shirts and shower curtains. And I think Messages had one of the t-shirts up earlier. Shit gets wicket. I think actually
Indeed.
the first wicket that Parkinson got was a bit filthy. Shorter, played off his hip by Milan, down to long leg. In comes Shaheen Afridi, hurls it into Mohammad Rizwan, and they get 1. Milan moves on to 6. England 7 for no wicket. We've also
It's
seen
worth
people going out with
mentioning that. Sorry, it's worth mentioning that many of those things come in various shapes and sizes. Everything from shower curtains to bath mats to phone cases.
Yeah, and if you're really, really big, you could wear the shower curtain. You don't have to go for the extra large t-shirt, you just go for the shower curtain. 2 slips for the right-handed Salt. He faces his first ball, he clips up to mid-on and immediately spots that he is a little bit deep. So there's probably a single there, and there is. And so Salt is off the mark, and England move to 8 for no wicket. Now, Phil Salt, was it Brisbane Heat that he played for mainly in the Big Bash?
Yeah, he didn't have a great time of it in the Big Bash this year, but he's been in superb form for Sussex for the last few years, and has been. In fact, he was in the England squad when Pakistan toured last year, but didn't end up playing. He got called into that squad and was on the verge. He's been kind of one of these guys who's been on the fringes of the England white ball setup for a little while. A very attacking and powerful player.
Didn't he miss the beginning of this season by falling off a bike? I've got a feeling didn't he fall off a bike? I've got a feeling he fell off a bike or did something to himself.
England seems to develop so many different ways of getting injured.
They do. This is way down the leg side. Really good tumbling take by Mohammad Rizwan, but obviously it's going to be given as a wide.
Yeah. Phil Salt, 15th of April 2021. Phil Salt ruled out until end of May after breaking foot in cycling accident.
That's right. I thought he fell off his bike. Well, he's back in the saddle. Let's put it that way, in a cricketing sense, and that was way off target from Shaheen. It's certainly moving, but moving from way down the leg side. But he's a very athletic wicketkeeper, is Mohammad Rizwan. He's got some luminous sunglasses. Salt aims a drive, and this time Mohammad Rizwan goes flailing across in front of first, almost second slip. Slides along as he does so, ends up in front of second slip pretty much. So he's well off the radar at the moment, Shaheen Afridi, good though he may be, and he's testing the abilities of his wicketkeeper, who is coming up and shaping up well in that respect. 9 for no wicket. Salt has a single, and Shaheen is back in over the wicket. 6'6" of him. Bowls to Salt down the leg side again, and there goes Mohammad Rizwan, and it's another wide. But we are seeing all the wonderful efforts of Mohammad Rizwan around the at the moment, because it's keeping us entertained.
Rizwan gave a little look to Shaheen Shah Afridi as if to say, "Stop making me do this."
What are you doing? I mean, you've got to have some sympathy. It does seem to be swinging when he gets it starting just outside leg stump. He tries to push it across the right-hander, and it doesn't do anything at all. So he's just having trouble at the moment, Shaheen. Let's see if he can get this one in a better position. He does indeed, and Salt tries to drive, but there's no real timing there. In fact, the bottom hand comes off the bat. But still manages to get a single up to mid-on. He does look like he's pretty nippy between the wickets. And England move to 11 for no wicket.
Phil Salt, a Sussex-based Welshman, the first Welshman to play an international in Cardiff since Imad Wasim.
Ah, yes, Imad Wazim, who has a fantastic jingle. We almost ought to fish out the Imad Wazim jingle because it's so good.
It is. We'll be seeing it in the T20s. The man from Swansea also has a background in Barbados, and there's a great story from. He was in Barbados for I don't know, a holiday or something, and went into a fish and chip shop, picked up someone else's order. It was Garfield Sobers's.
Oh.
So, he has stolen Garfield Sobers's fish.
Well, there you go. That's, if you're going to steal anyone's fish, then it might as well be Garfield, Sir Garfield. It was Adelaide that Phil Salt played for, not Brisbane Heat. But also had a little spell with Islamabad.
Yeah, he's done PSL. He's done well in the PSL, Phil Salt.
Anyway, it's Milan facing up for the time being as Shaheen bowls to the left-hander outside the off stump, and this looks like he got a little bit of the bottom of the bat on that, but it's steered successfully down to third man. In fact, it does look at the bottom of the bat. They get another single. England move to 12 for no wicket. I'm just looking up Phil Salt. Philip Dean Salt comes from Bodlwydan. Is that how you say it? Bodlwydan in Wales.
Bodlwydan. It's somewhere in North Wales. I know that much.
North Wales, it is indeed. He's now 24 years old, so he's been around a little bit and played a lot of T20 cricket. Has a top score in T20s of 78 not out. This one is into his pads, just dribbles out on the onside. I think it is that Shaquille coming in there to field from mid-wicket. And there is no run. Looking at his List A record, only 102 50s in 16 matches. But a pretty useful strike rate of 104.
Yeah,
anything above 100 is pretty good in one day.
Oh, it's very, very impressive. Yeah, he's got a lot of fast starts.
Well, he's got the chance here. Oh, he's got an edge to that one, but I think he's played it softly enough that it goes down to the ground before being picked up by Shadab Khan, who's at second slip. And Shadab, again, another good cricketer, batted well today in a difficult situation, made 30. He's got 3 50s as a batsman, coming in at around about 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's been a while since his last one. He's been out of form for a while, and he's been injured as well. He's a brilliant fielder as well, Shadab Khan.
And vice captain of this team at the age of 22. Here comes Shaheen, final ball of his second over. It's taken a while to get through. That's better. Hits the bat hard as Salt goes back and defends. And there is no run. 3 overs bowled. England 12 for no wicket. Messi.
So our own Grabby is responding to a tweet from a while ago from Roger McCann about the wearing of caps by the Zimbabwean Test 11. And he says, presumably you'll be doing us an 11 comprised entirely of Kadtu Soshwanis, who was the guy wearing a cap at number 3 for Zimbabwe.
Roger got very excited because the Zimbabwean number 3, Takudzwashane Kaitano, was wearing a cap while batting. It's stumps.
Marvellous.
It's stumps on day 2 of that match. Zimbabwe 114 for 1 in response to Bangladesh's 468. In Harare.
That sounds like a decent batting wicket, doesn't it? There is a man in the crowd with a Gareth Southgate mask on, and it could actually be Gareth Southgate. That would be a cunning disguise. Hassan Ali round the wicket to Milan, down the leg side. It's another wide. Brilliant from Rizwan, though.
Yeah.
Wide. I think we can certainly say that Mohammad Rizwan is good diving off both feet.
Yeah. Well, he's not got inches, has he? He's quite short, so he has to make up for that in athleticism.
And he certainly is.
Oh, he really is. He's a tremendous keeper. So Hassan Ali has switched to round the wicket for the left-hander. Here he is, slipping a gully, and onto the back foot goes Milan. Tries to force, but doesn't time it. Chops it into the ground, and it goes to backward point. There is, again, no run.
Pakistan.
GPL entries. Did we have many GPL entries?
We did, but they're all
30.
We had loads.
How many? 30?
But they're all way too high.
Good. That's what I like. It means we win. So that's good. 30 entries. That's tremendous. So no one's going to win today, but thank you for taking part, and do so again on Saturday and Tuesday. Hassan Ali in. Oh, that's a rather loose drive played by Milan. He's lucky as he gets a thick inside edge past the stumps. down to fine leg and jogs the single. 14 for no wicket. It's all in the hands with Milan, isn't it? There's a sort of, doesn't get a really big stride in ever, going back or coming forward, and really he's just placed the foot there and then thrown the hands at it, and when it comes off it looks gorgeous. But in such circumstances where he gets thick inside edge, he gets a bit lucky. Hassan Ali over the wicket to Salt. Salt drives a ball that I thought he should be going back to, really. But it's run up to mid-on. Just dragged it a little bit towards Harris Ralph.
Yeah, bat face closed in the hands. I think he was trying to punch that down the ground, but it got a bit big in him. Hassan Ali's one of those bowlers. He's not. Shaheen is much faster than Hassan, and Harris Ralph is as well. But Hassan is quicker than you think, and he hurries you.
He's skiddy, isn't he? He's skiddy. I like him. He's all action, and he's got a very fast run up, and so you know that there's a sort of certain quickness about everything. Quick arm, driven by Salt. He likes that shot on the up, and this time he's got it successfully. He's got it away between extra and mid off, and it's run to the sponge for one of these.
Time that well. This is what we were talking about this pitch having plenty in it, and it's a good outfield as well. He didn't middle that, but it absolutely rocketed away to the cover fence.
No, you're absolutely right. He didn't middle that, but he's got power. He's got speed of hand, and he got placement on that occasion. He does look to drive a lot, doesn't he? From what I've seen so far, this one comes into him a little bit, and he has to sort of flinch a little bit as he plays it down behind square on the onside. They'll get through for another single. He'll move to 7, and England to 19 for no wicket. So a much better start for England than there was for Pakistan. If you're joining us for the first time, Pakistan lost 2 very important wickets in the first 3 balls of the match, when Saqib Mahmood had Imam ul-Haq LBW first ball, and then second ball found the edge. Babar Azam's bat taken low down by Crawley at second slip, and they didn't really recover. In comes Hassan Ali, short ball. It's going to be given as a wide, I suspect, down the leg side. Milan pulled out of trying to hook it because it got a bit big on him, so the score moves up to 20 for no wicket. The 4th wide already.
Wide.
Yeah, not like down Milan to see a pullable or hookable ball and not pull or hook it, but that was so far down the leg side he didn't really have to bother.
Yeah, he wouldn't really have been in control of it had he continued with the shot, so he took the wise option. Hassan Ali in to complete the over, and he drives that beautifully on the up. Stroked it away, really, caressed it. It's chased by Babar Azam, the captain, from mid-off, and they get back for a comfortable 2. The end of the 4th over, England are 22 for no wicket. Messers.
So Jay says, damn it, Knackle, I was going to tell that story. Apparently it was a curry, though. Granfeth Otto says, so did England bowl well, or were Pakistan just crap, complacent, or just inexperienced in swingy conditions?
I think England bowled well, I think you have to say. Certainly early on. There looked like there would be a recovery, but then a run-out kind of put an end to that. And when Fakhar Zaman went in rather unfortunate style, that really was the sort of the end of the innings. They didn't try to stick around and eke out as many as they could from the remaining 15 or 16 overs, but they played some shots and they fell.
Yeah.
Shaheen Afridi starts his 3rd over, none for 5. He's in, bowls to Salt. Salt aims a driver that is caught at first slip. He likes to drive. He gets it sometimes, and other times he falls. It's taken by Sohaib Maqsood.
How's that? You messed about, I caught you out. How's that?
Yeah, pretty regulation, full outside off
Yeah, he's
stump.
aimed it across him.
Yeah, full outside off stump. Shaheen knew what he was doing. Wasn't really quite. Yeah, he likes to drive on the up, and that's fine. It's a good pitch, but simple catch at slip. Phil Salt gone for 7 off 13.
Indeed. You live by the sword, you die by the drive outside the off stump, and that seems to be his way. I've not seen a great deal of Phil Salt. Not sure I'm over impressed, but anyway, we shall see. This is these are the players who are just sort of bubbling beneath the surface of the one-day squad, and he deserves his chance. I suppose another man who's missed out, of course, by being called up into that squad, the original squad, is Tom Banton, who might have been playing in other situations.
George Garton as well, the Sussex
George
fast
Garton,
bowler, the
yep.
left armour. Who, if you've ever seen a photo of him after in his follow through, it is hilarious. Because
it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
all of his limbs are in the air, and he's sort of folded up and pointing at the batter like he's been fired out of a torpedo tube.
I fail to understand how he stays upright, to be honest.
He's another Iron Man after the heart of Mark Wood. Anyway, Zach Crawley, a man in need of runs, comes to the crease. Got a jingle that goes like this.
Zach Crawley was a cricket player, a damn good cricket player. But he was moved from the middle order to open the batting. Now, trapped in the English professional cricket circuit, Zach Crawley must fight to survive.
It has an okay list A record, not a strike rate particularly to write home about.
But he likes to play his shots, and Shaheen Afridi is in and bowls to him, and he's very late on that, actually. In the end, doesn't play, and it doesn't miss the off stump by that much. It was a little bit of swing back towards him. Shaheen Afridi certainly thought it was very tight. It reminded me of the way that Crawley got out in one of those New Zealand matches, where he wasn't quite sure whether to play or not to play. And he seemed a little bit late, a little bit remiss.
Was that Jameson who got him like that? Because he you're right, Crawley, it wasn't a lead, it was like he was on a time delay.
I think it was Wagner. I'm not 100% sure, but I've got a feeling it was Wagner who got him that way. Another left arm over the wicket bowler. Shaheen Afridi bowls, again, not quite so close to off stump, but much better judgment on this occasion by Crawley, who lets it go. In fact, I'm going to have to look that up now, because I'm pretty sure it was Neil Wagner who got him. Certainly the stroke that I'm thinking of. It was another left armour. Looking at that Phil Salt dismissal, really absolutely no foot movement towards the ball, just threw the hand at it. And that's the way people play these days, but it's not great if you don't want to be caught in the slips. So I think we've got to look at England batting techniques, really. Shaheen in again, bowls to Crawley. Crawley on the back foot. This just drops it down to the second slip. Has to run to his right. Gets in a very good throw off balance, but Milan has answered in fact, probably made the call himself and runs through for the single. 23 for 1. Crawley off the mark. We have 2 balls remaining in the 5th over. Target is 142. England have moved to 23 for 1. Shaheen has the ball back with him. He's just giving it a rub, trying to get some shine on one side of the ball. His shine doesn't last too long on these white balls. He's always got perfectly manicured hair, though, hasn't he, Shaheen? In he comes, bowls to Milan. Milan waits for this one, just drops it down into the offside. And again, there is no run.
Yeah, it has great volume and poof to it, Shaheen Shah Afridi. It's good high hair. We was talking about Imam with his sort of thick, lustrous hair, and there's some good beards on show as well. Mohammed Rizwan's beard is looking good. Shadab's is looking very good.
Yes, I was just looking through the Bangladesh scorecard as well. See, Mamadullah got 150 not out.
Batting at 8.
Batting at 8 at the age of 35. Brilliant stuff from him. He just keeps going, doesn't he? Shaheen into Milan. Milan drops it towards backward point, and there is no run. It's the end of the over. 5 have been bowled. England are 23 for 1. Messi.
So Brian Barish is casting aspersions on my diction, which may not have been helped by the spaghetti. I need to get my hearing checked. I'm pretty sure I heard you all say that Zimbabwean gentleman has a cat on his head earlier. I was thinking maybe Nestler's would need to go and check on his or his neighbour's cat. Farong is he's winding me up. He says, messages is on tweets. Debutant Tagutswan Nashe Kaitana's solid to stumps, 33 not out off 117 balls. Zimbabwe trail by 354 runs with 3 days remaining. Okay. Are we off? Joe Gravers says, reasons why I love Guerrilla Cricket number 3,400.
Well, we'll find out what that was after this ball. Hassan Ali bowls into the legs of Crawley, flicks it away to square leg. Won't get through for a single, though, on this occasion. There is no run. Sorry, Messi.
GC number 343,724. BBC. Other products are available. GC. Good. We win. You fucking rubes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Mamadullah. That was a career best, by the way, from Mamadullah. Outside the off stump, left by Crawley. Ball just sort of hinted at seaming back in towards the off stump, but left alone.
It's a pretty tight lead. But yes. Mamadullah, it's his first test match in 18 months. I mean, obviously pandemic, but still. And Taskin Ahmed at number 10, not someone who's ever really done much with the bat. He had single-figure batting averages in every format. Made 75.
Yeah, he had an average of 6.75, and he makes 75. Extraordinary. Outside the off stump, there comes a typically almost trademark Crawley drive, slightly on the up, not with the placement to get past mid-off, and so there is no run. The umpire seems a little bit concerned with the footholes at the moment, as Hassan Ali just gives them a little bit of a scrape.
Some pleasant cover drivers in this England top four with Salt and Milan and Crawley and Vince.
Oh yes, we've still got Vince to come. Well, whether we get to see him, we don't know. He's down to come in at number 5.
I have him at 4. Well, that's what they...
Oh, maybe you're right. I may be reading from wrong part of my notebook. He's in again. Crawley turns this into the onside to mid-wicket. There is no run. I indeed also have him down as 4, so he could be in fairly shortly. Ben Stokes at 5, Simpson, Gregory, Overton, Carse, Mahmood and Parkinson. That's the rest of the England lineup. 23 for 1. Milan has 10 from 14 balls received. Crawley has 1 from 7. And there's a crowd in, not a massive crowd, certainly not Wembley proportions.
No, the Welsh Government has different restrictions on capacities.
Yes, I wish I lived in Wales, I really do.
Yeah, it's about 3,000 in the ground today.
Well, we'd call you Jonah then, rather than Hendo.
That's true. Hassan Ali in, bowls him a Yorker, which he's tried to slap.
Oh.
And he's been bowled, he doesn't seem to realise he's been...
It's a free hit, it was a no ball the ball before.
Oh my goodness me.
Fuck.
How did we miss that? Oh well, there you go. He's bowled from the free hit. No wonder he wasn't too worried. It was extraordinary. It was a Yorker, and he hit all round it, didn't he? It wasn't so much yorked as just hit round it.
Well, he's had a big swing and lost his shape because it's the free hit, and he was trying to hit the ball too hard. It's a good delivery to someone swinging, but yes, the third umpire calling the no ball kind of caught everyone a bit off guard. Even the caption didn't come up until fairly late.
Hassan Ali again, tearing in bowls, and one of Crawley's drives, but it comes off a thick inside edge. It's going to bring him 2 runs as it goes down to deep square. There is no one there, so the man at long leg has had to race round. So Crawley moves to 3, England to 26 for 1. I'm not sure that this is the right move for Crawley, actually, to be brought into this one-day side, because he's a man who really needs to go and work on his technique a little bit. I know there's not a lot of other cricket going on. I know there's another set of championship matches starting on Sunday, I think. But anyway, Hassan Ali is in again to complete the over. He drives very pleasantly through the offside. That is vintage Crawley. Lovely shot. That's put away for 4.
Yeah, when he times them, they look absolutely beautiful. And there's he's one of those players. You look at him, and there's clearly something about him, but he has never quite. I mean, he got that brilliant 250 where he was particularly severe on Yasir Shah in the Test match last year. But he's been very much picked on potential rather than churning out massive numbers.
Yeah, he hasn't done that, and I think he's shown enough potential. But there's obviously something in his technique with regards to just not opening the face enough when the ball's wide-ish. Trying to sort of drive it a little bit too straight.
Yeah, he does. It's very sort of coaching manual. He tries to drive everything through mid-off.
When he should be playing a much squarer, like someone like Mike Atherton would have done. Shaheen Afridi has got the ball back in his hand. He's about to bowl his 4th over. England are 30 for 1 from 6. And then he comes to the left-handed Milan. Milan onto the back foot. There's a lovely flowing stroke through the covers between backward point and cover. And it is 4 more.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Yeah, a bit too short, a bit too wide. Milan likes it there.
Well, anything that allows him to free those hands. I'd kind of be inclined to get Milan back in the Test team myself. But,
well, there's a growing sort of consensus among a lot of writers that he will be batting number 3 in the first Test against India.
Well, yeah, that sorts out the situation regarding Root, doesn't it? Everyone's saying, well, Root can't bat at 3 or doesn't want to bat at 3. Flicks the next ball off his middle stump towards square leg, and there is no run. And he didn't really let anyone down in the at Test level. He got a very good 100 in Perth when they were last on Ashes duty away.
Yeah, he did okay, and then didn't do brilliantly when he came back home. But certainly he got possibly could have had another few Test matches. He does have this. He's very good with the ball when the ball's short and when the ball's drivable. But his record actually in England for a player who's played here so long is not great.
Well, he just played another absolutely beautiful shot. He's kissed that, sent it away, slightly square this time. And Shaheen Afridi is thinking, hey, this guy is good.
And that's an example of opening the face, like you were saying. Zach Crawley wasn't across him because Shaheen's bowling over the wicket to him, but just opened the face and got it into the gap beautifully. What I meant with that is, if you look at his sort of breakdown of his numbers against good full-length deliveries, and they're quite a bit worse than kind of you'd expect a player like him to be. So there's this kind of so it's a little bit he's a curious player, Darren Milan, in many ways.
Shaheen in again, bowls to Milan. Oh, Milan has a little jab at that, and it died a little bit. Did he perhaps get a thin edge on that? Because Mohammad Rizwan has dived forward, couldn't get to it, and Shaheen Afridi has his head in the air as if, oh, why didn't that carry? Didn't look to me as if it was a slower ball, but maybe it was.
No, 87 miles an hour it was showing.
That certainly wasn't then, so I don't know what really happened there. Maybe just a little thin edge that for some reason dropped short. 38 for 1. 47, Milan 18. I understand what you're saying about Milan, but it's all relative. And I think that compared with some of the other guys that we've given chances to, Shaheen in again. This one he's going to get a single to as he pushes up towards mid-on. Didn't really get that as cleanly as he wanted to, but it allowed him, because of the pace of the ball, to come through for that one. He goes to 19, England 39 for 1.
Well, I mean, Milan has done well in his limited county championship games this year. He's got certainly one big 100 in there, and if he gets his chance, he'll have earned it. There was a toe end on that one that died short of Mohammad Rizwan, by the way, but it died well short.
Well, that might be an example of the slightly, if they're talking about the two-pace nature of the pitch, the fact that one was bowled at 87 miles an hour, but rather died. In again, bowls to Crawley across the right-hander. He leaves this one outside the off-stump. It's the end of the over. 7 bowled, England 39 for 1, Crawley 7, Milan 19. Messi.
So, not Fred Tithmus wonders whether a 14-letter player's 11 was ever done, to which Grubby has come back already with Virendra Sehwag and Harbhajan Singh. Josie Oak, who was denied during the Sri Lanka series, has been able to tweet, "The collapse is on, we're doomed." Grandfest Auto says, "Feeling rough as Badger's ass after my second dose of AstraZeneca, so naturally we'll be drinking tonight to take the edge off it." And Warren says, "Alex Hales must be going crazy." Well, I'm sure we can find something to help calm that down. Ravinair says he's always... Oh, I'll go back to you, Hender.
Shaheen Afridi, no, it's Hassan Ali now round the wicket, bowling to Milan, who plays another dreamy offside stroke. It's being chased, but it's not going to be caught, and it's 4 more beautiful runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Gorgeous stroke, lovely weight transfer through the ball. Doesn't get a huge stride, but transfers the weight beautifully. It was a half volley, but he put it away supremely.
Beautiful shot. Didn't really have to do much to it. It's all in the timing with Milan. I'm trying to think back. It was a couple of weeks ago when we were playing one of the T20s against Sri Lanka, and he was batting so well. And Rob Key came up with a brilliant description for him. There's something about it. He bats like a man who can win an argument without raising his voice. And I think that's a superb description of Milan when he's on song. And you wouldn't have thought it of Robert Key to come out with something quite so poetic as that. The next ball is defended back to the bowler. I would have been absolutely delighted to have thought of that one. In fact, next time that happens, I will use it and pretend that I made it up.
It's pretty
Well,
good.
I suspect that's what he did.
Oh yeah, maybe someone else. Maybe someone more poetic said it to him.
Yeah,
Like I don't know.
I like Rob Key as a broadcaster, but he's not a wordsmith.
Well, no, but it's just amazing that suddenly someone can get a feeling and they can convey that in their words. And I just think that was perfect. I mean, if someone like Arlott had said that, people will be talking about it for years and years. This is a slower ball from Hassan Ali, and Milan waits for it, defends it into the offside, 74 miles an hour, and he then signals to his partner that there was a sort of a twist of the wrist, a little bit of a cutter from Hassan Ali.
Yeah,
but he read it well.
Also, slow balls well tormented England here in the Champions Trophy final in 2017 when he was such an important part of that victory.
Oh yeah, the semi-final. Everyone thought England were going to win, didn't they? Short ball. Well, he has pulled that, but I'm not sure he was really looking at it as he did. He's going to pick himself up 4 runs, but that was a kind of moral victory for the bowler, I think.
It's Nissan Shi. It's Nissan Shi.
Yeah, he loves a pull shot, Darren Milan. He very rarely resists, and yes, he's timed that superbly well for someone who wasn't looking at the ball.
Yeah, he's turned his head away as he's played the shot, but he's kept playing the shot, and he's played it really well, amazingly. So it does show you that you don't always have to have your eye on the ball. 47 for 1. This is looking too easy for England. The target comes down under 195 now needed from 254 balls. Milan onto a very pleasant 27 from 23. Hassan does it again, bowls it short, and he pulls it. This time straight to the man at long leg, but mainly along the ground. And so they just pick up the 1 more. Milan goes to 28, England to 48 for 1.
Because Milan is so evidently comfortable, growing up in South Africa and all that on the back foot, he's been talked about as someone who is probably more likely to succeed in Australia and South Africa than he is in England in Test cricket.
Well, that's also thought, isn't it? Because his best innings probably in Test cricket came at Perth, which is the quickest of the Australian wickets as well. To the right-handed Crawley on this time, and he just waits for it, lays it down to backward point. Imam does the fielding. His locks are unleashed from his cap, and they come through for 1. It's the end of the over. England 49 for 1. Messi.
So, speaking of locks, Ravinair says he's always got perfectly manicured hair, hasn't he? Asks Hendo. Does this mean that it's done with nail clippers and finished with clear nail varnish?
Well, wouldn't you? I think I obviously meant coiffured. But occasionally when one is splurting out 3 million words a day from one's vocal cords, you do get the occasion. I mean, Ravi is insistent on picking me up on this. I don't know why. Shaheen in bowls to Crawley. Crawley waits and then jabs it down to third man and takes a single. England's 50 is up, 50 for 1. They need 92 more to win.
Yeah, that was inadvertent as well. Crawley wasn't trying to play that there. I'm not sure he was trying to play it anywhere.
I think it's a little bit, yes. He does seem a little bit indeterminate with his stroke play. That may be because he's got out in horrible fashion, and it's been brought to his attention, and it's all over the newspapers, and he's just wondering about his own abilities a little bit.
For someone who can look very dominant, he looked incredibly uncertain throughout that New Zealand series.
He did, and I do think there's been a massive hangover with England's batsman from India. Shaheen into the left-handed Milan. Milan back. Was turned around a little bit by that one. It jumped, hopped, and came high off the bat towards backward point. And just Milan having a little inspection of where that might have hit the bat. Goes down the wicket to have a little bit of a prod. And England remain 50 for 1. We've how many overs have we had? 8, I think, isn't it?
Yes, we're in the ninth. Yes.
Now, yeah. Shaheen Afridi with the beautifully coiffured hair, I should say, for Ravi's benefit, comes into bowl. Just got the 1 slip now, and that's a good ball, just back of a length. Doesn't really go back, does he? Doesn't seem to go back. He sort of jabs at the ball from the crease, Milan. That might be the problem he has at test level to a certain extent. I mean, very fluent when he's attacking, but quite restrictive in his movements. That's what makes him look so good, but at the same time, it could be considered a little bit of a fault or something that bowlers will pick up on.
No, I mean, a lot of players have succeeded with really just trying to transfer in the weight rather than taking a big stride, but yeah, it is something to watch, particularly when the ball's moving laterally, which it isn't really today.
Waits for this one and plays it beautifully down to third man. Those boundaries are quite short, so third man has to be not too far away from the line of that ball to actually stop it going into the boundary. It's Hassan Ali, and they take a single, 51 for 1.
And I do think, Kenda, that you should not take Ravi's comments too personally. I think he takes some joy in being the pedant's pedant.
I think he does. I think he loves it.
Yes,
I mean, I'm moderately pedantic, but
you're professionally pedantic. You're a
I'm professionally pedantic. Yes. Rob Key for Poet Laureate. I saw that tweet going through, and I thought, I think that's about right. Rob Key should be the next Poet Laureate.
The people's poet.
The people's poet, yes. Shaheen then to the right-handed Zach Crawley. And there's a running in, 1 for 17. He's coming round the wicket now. And Crawley is down that wicket and works that beautifully away through square leg. Sure. And that is going to go all the way to the boundary sponge for one of these.
It's pretty hard to make any judgments about the Pakistan bowling performance when you're defending 142. But Shaheen and Hassan Ali kind of look like bowlers who've been staring at the inside of hotel rooms in Derby for 2 weeks. They've only had one of their practice matches was rained off. They've had an intra-squad game and some practice recently.
So he stays around the wicket to bowl the next delivery. He's down that wicket again. He's going to get a single, though. He didn't time the ball or get it in the middle. They will hurry through for the 1. Crawley goes to 14. Crawley is... that's quite brave of Crawley to be coming down the wicket to Shaheen, who's quite nippy. But he's definitely making a pace or two down the wicket to play those shots. And it's the end of the over. Messi.
Bram Barish very kindly says it's nice to see messages taking time off from the Barty party to commentate on the cricket.
The Barty party.
Not Fred Titmus has stopped Paul Howarth in his tracks and said, "No, I want an 11 of 14-letter surnames." To which Paul Grubby says, that, "Well, that's the Sri Lankan 11." Yes, Josie Oak was the one who said Rob Key for Poet Laureate, and Paul Howarth has responded with Wickramasinghe as a 14-letter one, which I think was pretty quick. Warren said, "Guerrilla cricket needs suggestions of appropriate condiments for Cornish pastry." Have you got any ideas for that?
I'm not a Cornish pasty eater, so I'm afraid I can't really help you. What I can help you with is a jingle for the new bowler replacing Hassan Ali. Yeah, very familiar to Australian audiences after certainly 2 very good years with the Melbourne Stars in the Big Bash.
Well, he's a man who just gets the appendage RF, meaning right arm fast, and he's in, bowls, and he's going to go wicket. Is he? Oh, almost! Because Crawley was trying to work that to the leg side, got a horrible leading edge, it went flying out into the covers, but somehow eluded those guys in the covers, and he's come through for a very fortunate 3 runs.
Yeah, it really could have gone anywhere. It just got enough on it to get it over the cover region, right off the middle of the leading edge.
It's true, he has been very impressive in the Big Bash. I think he likes the Australian wickets.
Yeah, he
I have to say,
took a hat trick. Took a hat trick at the Big Bash a few years ago.
Oh, did he? Okay. I have to admit that I struggle with the Big Bash because it's always on too early for me. Milan has retaken guard. There's quite a lot of threatening dark cloud around Sapphire Gardens at the moment. Whether that's going to come in before England can get these runs, I'm not 100% sure. Sun's out for the time being, as Ralph is in, and onto the back foot goes. Milan plays it again with beautiful timing, but this time straight to the man at cover, and there is no run. Crawley has 17 from 16. Milan has 29 from 28. England need 83 more to win.
We'll have a 3-person change in 4 balls time as the power play comes to an end. Bear will replace me and do some summarising. Nestlers will replace Messi and do some socialing. And Tony will replace Hendo and do some ball-by-balling.
Yeah, I wonder whether we can get down to Grubby at 6 o'clock. I don't think we are. Anyway, short, and Milan tries to play the uppercut but makes no contact as it goes through to Mohamed Rizwan.
I like the attempt at the shot, though. These are very short, straight boundaries at Cardiff, relatively long square boundaries. So if you get any kind of bat on that, it's probably going for 4.
Yeah, I want to go to Cardiff at some point because I keep hearing about these short straight boundaries, but I've never experienced. I want to see how short they are. They shorter than the ones at Auckland?
I don't think they're Auckland short.
No.
But
They're not Auckland short. No, you can't go that short. Ralph again then, coming into the very upright Milan. Milan onto the back foot, just eases this to backward point, and again there is no run.
It's a lot of energy.
Further to the poet laureate suggestion, Jeff Perkins says Hendo and Ravi can contest for the next pedant laureate.
I really am not much of a pedant. I'm pedant with a lot of things, but I mean, if you've ever worked in a newspaper office with some subs, you really don't know what pedantry is until you've done that. There's some extraordinary pedants around. Anyway, Ralph is coming in. He's quite got an run up. This is a pull by Milan. He's going to get a couple as Shaheen Afridi has to make 20 yards to his right from long leg.
Yeah,
Milan moves into the 30s.
There is a lot going on with Harris Ralph's run up. It's all very bustly, and then his arms seem to take quite a long time to sort themselves out as he delivers. There's a lot of windmilling and sort of uncoiling.
A lot of moving parts. Yes, I think it's fair to say. I want to see the whole of this run up because just sort of halfway through it, he seems to throw out an arm in a strange direction for no apparent reason. But I expect he's got he knows why he does it. We didn't see that because it was too short, too early, and this time Milan pulls out of the hook shot that got too big on him. Is that the end of the over? I believe it is. It's time for a change, and to take you through the next 10 overs, it will be Knuckle, I believe. No,
it's me. Catch you on Saturday.
Indeed,
Yes.
it is. As we're just looking at the. Hello, Nestlers.
Hello.
I was just saying we were looking at the dismissal of Phil Salt.
Poor old Salt, eh?
Poor old Salty.
Salt of the earth he is. Salt of the earth, right,
Didn't
geezer.
sprinkle his goodness over too much of today.
Is he another Middlesex man?
No, Sussex.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Nestlers, you were reading some messages I think.
Oh, well, okay. This will be interesting. Harris on to bowl. He's either on his game or a few furlongs behind, says Ferron.
Well, England in the power play, 61 for 1, remembering that it was 46 for 4 for Pakistan. We're going to see Fahim Ashraf, 27 years old. His right arm over to Zach Crawley, who just plays him nicely into the onside, and there is no run.
Let me play a little jingle. Hold on.
Oh, go on.
Look out, it's Fahim Ashraf. He's a superstar now. You'll never get him out now.
Sort of right arm medium. Fahim Ashraf looks pretty military stuff to me, but he's taken a few wickets with it.
Is it Dob?
No, definitely no. It's definitely not Dob.
No?
He's a bit quicker than Dob.
He has a slip. Yeah. And that's edged high and wide of third man, where there's a bit of a fimble and a fumble, and it will get 2 for Crawley, who flung the bat at that a wee bit, but good aggressive intent, I think you could say. It will move him on to 19.
It's just the other side of Dob, isn't it?
Just the other side of Dob, north Dob.
Just
not central Dob or southern Dob, it's north Dob.
The Dob is the most important thing for me in the whole of cricket.
Speaking of Dob, did you see how well Colin de Grandhomme got on the other day for Hampshire? He spanked about 160 odd, I think. It was a fantastic innings. As this one's driven back, but only as far as mid-off. Didn't get quite as much on it, did Zach Crawley, as I
No, he did.
Perhaps he had done, did he?
Yeah, it was Fahim got a hand on it. He hit that pretty hard.
That's why he's holding his finger.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. He's got 23 ODI wickets for Fahim Ashraf. Yeah, that will have hurt him a bit. At 41, best bowling of 5 for 22 against Zimbabwe and Bulawayo in 2018. Pakistan, I think, thumped Zimbabwe in that one by 9 wickets.
Hardly surprising.
And in comes Fahim Ashraf, and bat is dropped upon it by Crawley. And Fahim is the first of 3 fielders to rush in there. I'm sure Pakistan would feel if they could get, one could bring 2. Could they make this more inexperienced lineup wobble? The captain's been injured.
Clutching at straws.
Well,
clutching at straws.
Trying to make an interesting game out of it, Tone.
Oh, well, I'm just.
He did this the whole way through the Sri Lanka series.
Yeah, exactly.
I said he should be a diplomat as a career.
Well, I was just trying to see it through the eyes of the Pakistan
Beholder.
team. One wouldn't give it up. Yeah, no, down the track comes Crawley, thumps this over long on for 4 runs.
Good shot.
It's Nissan Shi.
It's Nissan Shi.
I don't think he got quite as much as he thought he had, but the man was up on the 30-yard circle.
That jingle reminds me of Ombre Nuevo's picture from earlier of the junior Ombre Nuevo with the lovely little Nissan Shi baby sort of romper suit. Baby grow they're called, aren't they?
Jay's uncle's got it on today.
What, a baby romper suit?
The T-shirt.
Oh, I see. I was going to say there's something strange about Jay's uncle then. This one has a swing and a miss by Crawley outside of off stump. That really wasn't far enough away from his body to attempt that shot, I would suggest, Bear, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, it was a bit close, but fortunately he missed it. It went through to the keeper.
Well, he did. It was through to Mohammed Rizwan, and Fahim Ashraf is going to have his fingers looked at there after he slammed down his hand.
Been told to go off.
He's all right. Well, I think he might be. He's having a chat there with. Is that Richard Kettleborough? No, I think that's Alex Wharf, isn't it?
Well, he's got a weird plaster on there. He's got a plaster that's kind of connected between his thumb and his finger.
Well, he must have. Perhaps he's split the webbing.
Maybe he's
he's covering his webbing, but is that on his bowling hand? No, it's not on his bowling hand.
It looked like it's between thumb and
forefinger, but it's not on his bowling hand. So I don't know. I understand why the umpire's getting
anyway, he is going off, or he's heading off. He looks like he's heading off for treatment, comparatively reluctantly.
I've got a contentious question for you.
Ooh, go on then.
Warren asks what the thoughts are on Lasergate.
Oh, I think that's a pretty poor show by some England fan, to be honest.
What, somebody, not shy. Is this in this match?
No. Football. Someone's shone a laser at Schmeichel, didn't they, when he was
during the penalty, wasn't it?
The penalty, yeah.
Well, that he saved, by the way.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, that's appalling and should be never let in a good football game again. They should
kick him in.
Harris Ralph, anyway, will continue. None for 5 for him. He's bowling to the left-handed Milan, who plays him off the back foot. Just steers it away to short cover, and there is no run.
Bryony001 says, pedants, making the world betterer one word at a time.
Very good.
We have a fair few pedants on this show.
How many pedants are there on our flipping internal WhatsApp group?
Too bloody many is what I say.
Jesus Christ,
I've got to be honest,
almighty.
I muted that last night just so I could concentrate on the football. As this one is steered down to third man by Milan. Very tidily done. 89 miles an hour from the brisk Harris Ralph. But nonetheless, 5 ODIs for him, 8 wickets at 34. Best of 3 for 54, which he got was in Johannesburg this April. Although it didn't stop South Africa winning on that occasion. They won that one game, I think, by 17. Although Fakir Zaman got 193 in that game as well. And they still didn't win. So, obviously a good performance by South Africa. Anyway, Harris Ralph. He's going to be at right arm over and in. He's flicked nicely off his legs by Crawley away through mid-wicket. I think that's going to go the distance. Yes, it is. That was a gorgeous shot.
It was a lovely shot. When he times it sweetly.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He looks $1 million, like when he got his 250 odd the other year.
Yeah.
But earlier this summer, he looked completely out of sorts. I'm hoping that just kind of bang out is where he has to just play some shots and hopefully get some runs and opportunities at the top of the order.
No,
might bring him back into form for the tests.
Well, this partnership is now worth 50 runs partnership, and it's been a good one indeed, as this one is left alone by Crawley. It was wide and bounced, and England are not under any kind of pressure from the scoreboard
at all. No.
You really don't want to be chasing those, and that was good sensible cricket by Crawley not to be tempted into a wild lash at it. 70 off 230 is the equation, which is very generously weighted in England's favour, no doubt about that. England B plus, BC, whatever, I'm not quite sure how you could name this
BC,
team.
I like that.
As forward comes Crawley, way into the offside, again no run.
Do you think Dawid Malan deserves another chance in the test side?
Yeah, I'm just I'm not sure what he's done this season in anything other than T20s for Yorkshire.
He scored 199 in a county game, I think, didn't he?
He's definitely got the capability, and I thought he did so well in Australia, didn't he? But then he didn't really back that up. He seemed to tail off after that. In Australia, he was very resilient in tough conditions. As in comes Harris Ralph, and that steered beautifully backward a point by Crawley. It thumps into that sponge. He really controlled that, guided it, and it's 4 more for England.
Great timing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Absolutely was. Now, Milan, I can tell you, is not a small man, but he looks quite diminutive almost next to Crawley, who of course is quite a tall man.
Jimmy Anderson's got his 1000th first-class wicket.
No, that's not today. That was
earlier in the week, wasn't it?
That was earlier in the week, yeah. As Kent just crumbled like a, I don't know, whatever, an old piece of fruitcake. But yeah, it was a magnificent. Got it from his own end as well. No sniggering in the back, Messers, if you're there. 76 for 1. 66 are needed off 228 balls. Dawid Malan, who is scratching his mark and preparing to face Fahim Ashraf, is on 32. Close to a runner ball. So he's played very tidily. I'm sure he would be extremely happy to see England home and perhaps make a little bit of a point for himself. Took 2 catches in the deep, could have had 3. But I'm sure that will all be forgotten, as this one is just nudged to mid-wicket by Milan, and there's no run. 76 for 1.
Walked right across the stumps there. Don't know why. It's playing quite nicely. No need to do anything extravagant here, is there? I mean, if they carry on at this rate, they'll have it done in about 24, 25 overs.
They will do. Well, I notice we've only reworked our rotors, assuming it goes to a maximum of 30.
Well,
Hendo's wise, so I'm sure he's got that right. As in comes Harris Ralph, and up onto his toes goes Milan and steers it past square leg. It's going to be. They will have taken. Oh, has it gone all the way, or did I dream that? Did that go for 4? Was it misfielded?
I moved for 4, I think.
Good lord! Well, that was a shocking misfield. I was busy looking up some stats because it looked like it was all being comfortably fielded. Got onto his toes, steered it past square leg, and got.
Maybe it was just really well timed and he couldn't catch it up.
Yeah, well, that was something of a surprise, but it was indeed 4 more to Milan. He moves on to 36. None for 10 for Fahim Ashraf. Milan bat aloft. Flicked this time down towards long leg. There is a man there, and it will just be an easy single. As he's bowling from that Cathedral Road end is Fahim. To Sophia Gardens. Bit of a claggy old wicket again. It's not the ball's not been massively coming onto the bat. It's not quite as claggy as it was for the T20 against Sri Lanka, is it? Which was, I think, recall a low scoring affair.
We've had a pretty shit summer, really, haven't we? I mean, it's been a lot of sun to dry anywhere out, and I imagine it's quite wet.
There is a slip and a short third man, and this is wide and left by Crawley outside of his off stump. It was named after Sophia Crichton Stewart, who was the Marchioness of Bute, who decided they needed more open space when she was in that role as Marchioness.
Very nice.
That's why
around
she
there,
created
actually.
Sophia. Yeah.
Have you
She
been
was
to-
originally, I can tell you, her original name was Sophia Frederica Christina Rowden Hastings. She was a
You're
Scottish
just-
noblewoman.
You're just making that up.
No. I decided to
Pointless
find
guff.
out why it was called Sophia Gardens, and that's why. And that one is guided down to third man.
I'm sure
Harris
some
Ralph.
rich
That's the feeling.
bird had too much money and decided she'd give the paupers and the peasants and
Well,
that.
it wasn't about money. It was about the quality of living space. So that's how come it came into being, Sophia Gardens. Also, I found out, interestingly, it was once, not when the cricket ground was there, but before the cricket ground was there, the ground hosted Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Wow, there you go.
Have you been to Sophia Gardens?
I've been to Cardiff many times, but I've not been to Sophia Gardens, no. As this one is dabbed down by Milan to third man, gets a single. I know Josh, one of our number, has often tried to tempt me down there to watch Glamorgan and Middlesex, but somehow it's never quite happened. So yeah, I will do. It is the end of the over, and we will go to you, Nestlers. It's 82 for 1 England.
Joginder Rai says love from Fazilka, Punjab, India, and questions Pakistan's bowling length. Farong says England have to be 90+% to win. If the draw is at 1%, then I shall return to contemplating what the green exotic tea leaves read. Peter Lloyd says Kent decided to bat against a side featuring Anderson in cloudy conditions. They deserved what happened.
Harris Ralph is in, and this one is again just a bat angled to steer it away down to deep extra cover from Milan, and he walks an easy single. Well, Middlesex are lost. It all fell apart rather quickly once sadly Eski was out. Let me see. 96% England, 4% Pakistan on WinViz. Where are they seeing that 4% from? That would be an almighty clatter of wickets now to make that happen.
You got to put something on there, I suppose, haven't you?
Yeah, but normally it's 99-1. They can see 4% chance for Pakistan. In comes Harris Ralph, steered by Crawley away to cover. They think about 2, and then probably quite rightly suggested that would be somewhat suicidal, and they'd have been right.
Anna Forsyth says grammar is important, cricket is importanter.
Very good, Anna.
And Warren wonders whether they can be cut in half by the laser, like in Goldfinger.
You imagine.
That would be bad, wouldn't it?
A goalkeeper's about to save a penalty, and then just the top half of his body just falls off.
Ooh.
In comes Harris Ralph again. Pulled high by Milan, and one bounce though down to square leg, and they will get another single. I think in his mind's eye he saw a 4 or a 6 there, not a single, but a single was what he had to settle for. Moves him on to 40.
Interesting question from Matthew Cullen. Well, from Conrad, I'm chipping Norton. Do you think if this squad has to isolate, Alex Hales would get selected?
No, I think not being selected in this squad is about the clearest signal for Alex Hales that something will have to freeze over, as this one is glided down to deep point, and they will take 2. So Crawley will move on to 35. 54 now the target. I think when this panic situation arose, Chris Silverwood was brought back from his Norfolk holiday, and he will have been in phone contact, I'm sure, with Owen Morgan.
And Morgan said, "Nah, fuck him."
I'm not quite sure. I think they'd be picking from the local Cardiff Grammar School under 12s before Alex Hales got a go.
I think that's just wrong, man.
Another single taken.
Something else must have happened.
I just think he's got a bee in his bonnet about him. I just think it's a bit wrong. I mean, he's a class act when it comes to. Maybe he's a bit older now, but he's still, banged it out in the T20s in the Big Bash.
Yeah, he must have said something to Morgan or done something else after the,
Well, surely he'll be saying whatever he likes, won't he? Because I mean, if someone's going to treat you like that, I'd be pretty rude about him myself,
Yeah.
But in comes Harris Ralph, and a bit inside edgy from Milan, but it's away to backward square, they'll get a single.
That's what I mean. I mean, after the after the initial incident, I reckon Milan and him have had a set to over it, and it's just got worse, the relationship.
Yeah, I think the timing was a key part of it, probably from Owen Morgan's perspective. I don't know, I can only see from the outside, but just ahead of a World Cup that England had been building for.
Yeah,
that was pretty crazy timing to get yourself caught. And then,
but it wasn't. But but that's wrong though, Tone, because he was caught in the Christmas period when they weren't playing, and he did something outside of playing for the whatever. It was dealt internally. It was only because Ashley Giles bloody told everyone, and then it suddenly blew out of all proportion. I just think it was treated. I thought it was handled badly.
As we wait for Fahim onto the back foot goes Milan.
It nearly cost us. It nearly cost us a World Cup.
Well,
in the sense that when Roy was injured, Vince came in and was useless. You know,
or James Vince. He had a couple of knocks, but yeah, no, I take your point. And wasn't Hales in some capacity in the mix at the what was the bar in Bristol where?
No, he was with Ben Stokes.
Yeah, he was with Ben Stokes. Yeah,
he was the second guy.
So I got a feeling there's.
Ben Stokes got redemption.
Yeah. But then, that one really sort of squirts off the outside edge of Milan's bat to cover. Rather square him up, that one. Certainly made him hurry from Fahim, who, that's what we were saying, Nestlers, he's more than a trundler. He's a lively-ish medium.
I'll take him off my list.
Yeah, you can't put him in the Grandom camp. Which, by the way,
the Nestle favourite dobbers.
Which we're not deriding.
No, I love Dob.
Because well-delivered Dob can be highly effective in come Fahim. That's beautifully driven away through cover, but there is a man at deep cover, so it will only get David Milan a single. He's laughing, seeing the funny side of something there.
I mean, personally, I think it's that situation with that American sprinter. He's not going to be able to take part in the Olympics because he smoked some weed. When in fact, in a hell of a lot of states now in America, weed is legal. I mean, that's another crazy situation.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not performance enhancing.
Crossing the straight line, the state line to have a bit of weed. Ooh, and that one was Crawley. I have a sense it grew on him. That one did. And I think he was originally thinking he might try and pull that, and very quickly changed his mind. So once again, Fahim Ashraf is getting some bit of lift with his medium plus. I think we're going to call it now, Nestlers.
Okay. I mean, having a smoke in some places in America is equivalent of having a beer.
Exactly.
So do you ban people from having a beer?
Precisely. And the fact is that weed is never going to be performance enhancing when you're a sprinter.
Comes for Fahim Ashraf. This one is cut by Crawley. There will be a man at deep backward point, and it will just be a single.
Yeah, all
going about this in leisurely but effective fashion, a relatively untroubled fashion, I must say so far.
Being a top class sprinter and then just sitting on your ass watching telly ordering pizza is not good training, is it?
No.
True.
And apparently, didn't someone in her family die or something? And she was really stressed out. That's why she had a toke on a reefer.
Oh, this was we're talking about the
American sprinter, yeah.
The American sprinter.
I can't remember what her name is, but
we're looking at Waka Yunus, a man who knows Sapphire Gardens very well, of course. Pulled by Milan down to long leg. Again, good shot for minimal return. But nonetheless, he's looking solid, is David Milan, doing his chances of a longer run perhaps in the ODI side no harm.
Well, we've set Twitter on alight.
Have we, by Jove? That's good to know. Who's there?
O'Neill Harris says, I agree with Bear in some respects on Hales, but I think it's a trust issue why he's excluded. Morgan has said as such. Jay Grover says, I think Hales just violates the low-key no dickheads rule. I do not know. His infidelities pissed people off, and his seeming arse covering during the Stoke shit annoyed some and all.
Look, people...
I think
hang on. Grand Theft Auto says Morgan is acting, and forgive the language, like an insecure whining cock or cuck about Hales. Sometimes you just have to be magnanimous in life, work and sport. And Jay says, but having a smoke in some places in America, high schools, is worse than vehicular homicide.
Well, crikey, there's some serious points of view there.
Well,
I do think the things are linked. I think, what was it called? The not the Bongo Bar. What was the bar called in
Who knows?
Bristol?
Can't remember. Yeah, that was an issue, but he came back from that issue.
Yeah, he did, but I think
And so did Stokes.
I just don't think it's one thing. I think that it has to be.
Yeah, but
it has to be things we don't know about for
No.
England
Yes.
to be so determined.
But if
about
they're-
him.
That's my point.
But my
I
point
think-
is, if they're things all outside the sport itself, then they should be irrelevant, because we all know that you play with people you don't like, but you play with the best players. The team should have the best players, and if he is one of the best players, then he should be in the frame. It's, you know, I don't care what anyone thinks of me when I play a game of sport. If I'm one of the best players on the side, I want to play, and I don't care if that guy doesn't like me.
The only thing is Morgan can turn around and say, fine, but we won the World Cup.
Well, of course he can.
He does have that.
I think there's something, a bit of what Tony said about there's something we don't know, but I think probably the relationship has totally broken down between the two.
Yeah, I mean, and that can happen in any walk of life, frankly.
And it's up to Morgan, it seems, who plays and who doesn't, you know.
He-
End of story, you're not playing, bye.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, I guess he's kind of earned that right. In fact, he's a World Cup winning captain as well. But I mean, at the moment, is it wise that Morgan should be in the side? I mean, he's apart from the fact in that last innings, he's not done
in it on
bugger all.
form. No, he's not there
exactly.
on form. You're right. He's. I think he'll come good, by the way.
It's called the Embargo Bar, according to Jay.
Embargo. Yes, thank you,
Mitchell
Jay.
Jess says the Bear is an excellent delegate for the Stoners Union.
Damn right.
Legacy AD Brian 15 says about the sprinter, her biological mother died, I think. By the way, Howes has been utterly shafted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, so it's interesting how it splits opinion.
I just think that there's that there is stuff we don't know about, and I reckon they've had a right old fucking ding dong.
Well,
him and Morgan. That's what I think. And
I
Morgan's just
personally-
gone, I'm captain of England. Fuck off.
I think he'd be invaluable in a T20 World Cup.
Absolutely, yeah, no question.
We'll see. Things may change. 93-4-1.
Wide.
Down leg will be signalled as wide by Richard Kettleborough. And indeed it was. And Mohammed Rizwan has he seems quite a chirpy character behind the stumps.
Yeah.
But I think his expression there was, Harris, mate, why did you bowl that? We haven't got many runners to play with. Those don't help. So let's see what Harris Ralph can do. There's a lot of jogging on the spot. It was Knuckle, wasn't it, saying he's got a lot of arms and legs going. As that one steered away to extra cover. They run quickly.
That was really nicely timed. Good bit of fielding. At
It
the cover.
was. It was well fielded. No, you're absolutely right. 37 for Crawley, 44 for Milan. Just Phil Salt so far, the man out, who was caught by Sahab Maqsood off Shaheen Afridi for 7. And Harris Ralph is going to be in again from that River Taff end. Forward comes Crawley. Ralph just skips across, doesn't get down, but there's a man behind him, and it will be no run.
Aro Azizi says the Hale situation reminds me of Gower in the biplane. He was high.
Well, he was
high in
yes,
the sky.
he was high. Who was it? Who was it in the biplane with him? Morris, was it?
Someone like that, yeah.
Got a feeling it was. That one is left alone again by Crawley, who you have a feeling thought about a pull and then said no, maybe not. 91 miles an hour. Lively stuff.
Yeah.
From the lively Harris Ralph, who's
he's like
bowling nicely here.
He's kind of like a little cartoon character, you know, sort of runs on the spot before they take off in a cartoon.
Or runs off a cliff, but the legs are still going.
Yeah, exactly.
I did that when I went paragliding. It was exactly like that. Right, pull this one. Crawley does pull, but there's a man down at long leg, and it will just restrict him to 1. Where was I? Northern Cyprus. Drive up to the top of a mountain, and then just basically with my instructor, who's basically behind me on like a double-seater paraglider thing. I says, what do I do? He says, just run and keep running. So I just ran off a cliff, and my legs were exactly like that. They were fury underneath me.
Doesn't your brain just go as you actually exit the cliff? You know.
Well, I don't know.
I couldn't do that.
So well, hold on, as this one is dabbed down by Crawley. They take a good, sharp, quick single. They're running well, these two. I think there's a bit of adrenaline. Put it this way, if I'd have had too long to think about it, I almost certainly wouldn't have done it. But I think it was.
Well, that was like
just
me
getting on with it and doing it. You know.
When I went to the top of the stratosphere in Las Vegas and did all those rides hanging off the edge of the 1,000-meter tower, or whatever it was, or 1,000-foot tower. It was only because of the cocktails I had beforehand that I said to my mate, "Yeah, go on then, I'll do it." Oh my God!
Well,
look up the stratosphere. It's terrifying.
Oh, I can imagine. I'll just hold that thought for a second, as this one is whipped off his legs by Crawley to mid-wicket. They take another easy single. Keep doing it in ones here.
I hate fairground rides. I won't go on them, and I went on them. And they're the most extreme rides, I tell you. God.
But I think, people are wired differently. Funny enough, I can't stand at the top of a tall building. I have to step back from any edge. Completely.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Terrible vertigo in that sense. A number of times I had to go up, take people up the Eiffel Tower, and he used to hate it. However, I could run off a mountain, and so I explain that logic. As this one is whipped away by neither can I. Whipped away to mid-wicket, and Milan will move on to 46. It's the end of that Ralph over. Wicketless so far for him off his 4, 28 he's conceded. The 100 is up for England. The partnership is at 77. And these two should be seeing England to a comfortable win. Nestlers.
Well, there's still a lot of talk about Hales, but Jay Grover says John Morris got fucked by the slipstream. Also, the Gals high comment wins Twitter. Whee!
Yeah, that was very good.
Some delightful ranting, says Farong. Should definitely be a rant-off event during the Olympics. Hales, good ranting topic.
Farong has been promoting that. He's even given us potential topics and ways to score it.
Well, and just one last tweet on the thing. And Jeff Lemon's comeback summit is interesting on the Stokes-Hales business. You could argue not that Hales has been shafted, but that Stokes has been given a crazy amount of leeway.
Well, it's one of my favourite jingles coming up. It's the Pakistan vice-captain Shadab Khan, who's going to be bowling his leg breaks.
And he has a jingle that sounds
and
like
he has a jingle. Here it is.
What's the matter, you? Surely respect. The leg is spitting his heart, but he turns it off at the deck. Oh, he's not too bad. He's always got a plan. Shadab Khan.
Oh, well, he does have a plan. Mohammed Rizwan was convinced Milan got an edge to that.
He was nowhere near.
The umpire's not convinced because he didn't. Dawid Milan knows he didn't, and I think Shadab Khan might have been borrowing some of Alex Hales' stash if he thought that was an edge. But there we go.
They might as well review it.
I really hope he's not out.
They have done. Good lord.
They might as well.
But I don't think the bowler went up, did he? I mean, I've got him.
Funny one, wasn't it?
I've got him to get over 48.5 runs, so I get really pissed off. He's on about 45 now, isn't he? If he gets out.
Well, we shall see. Pakistan. To his credit, to be fair, Mohammed Rizwan was absolutely convinced, and he will have heard something surely. The third umpire is Richard Illingworth. Have a look. It turns a little as a leg break.
He's nowhere near it.
And Milan, I'm not kidding. That was, well, if you talk about the Johnny Bairstow gate between bat and pad, that was about 3 of those.
That was, did he get a bus through that?
What did he hear?
What did Rizwan think he heard? I have no idea.
Voices in his head.
Alex voices in his head. Alex Wharf.
They didn't even
does
go
does the underarm wave.
Did they?
No,
they didn't
I don't think they needed to.
And now he just shrugs his shoulders.
Mohammed Rizwan goes, whatever, we move on. Oh, and then he put his gloves up looking for a high five, and no one would give him one. They're probably all going, "You idiot! What were you thinking?"
Oh,
attempted reverse sweep, and that go. I think that will be buys. I don't think there's any bat on that either.
He got an under edge. He got a toe end. that went under
Did he?
the.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
You're
and that's
absolutely
his
right
50.
there. He did, and it's 50, not in a particularly attractive manner.
No, I don't
But
think
it
he'll
is.
care. And it's money in my betting account. Sweet.
Hey,
Good to
50
know.
runs. Your 50 runs. Well done, well done. Well done, well done.
Oh yeah, he did a big old inside edge. Went through Mohammed Rizwan's
50
legs.
runs. The job has only just begun.
That's flicked away. Now that's probably 2 balls in the career, or the wicket-keeping career of Mohammed Rizwan that you probably want to forget.
Well,
As this one is waited for and guided nicely by Milan down to deep cover. They should take 2. I'd be surprised if they don't. Maybe they stop at 1 because they think they don't have to.
no, that's 2. That's
No, they took 2.
That's a
Indeed,
good
they did.
placement.
106 for 1, 36 from 200 balls is the distinctly unchallenging equation.
we're not
for
going to
England.
get the dulcet tones of Grubby then.
Well, of course, because we started at 1 o'clock. I keep thinking it was an 11 o'clock start because it's already 5:30, isn't it? Flicked off his legs by Milan. 2 mid-wicket, no run on this occasion.
Well,
Always enjoy a bit of Grubby on the air.
And that is the end of that Shadab over. 100 and... No, it's not.
No, it's
He's
not.
got 1 ball left.
You're giving him the big send-off there, Tony.
Giving it a big send-off and unjustly. But this one is worked off his legs, and again, Milan will pinch the strike from Zach Crawley with that single. The score will move on to 107. 35 needed. Nestlers.
I don't know if you were on earlier and you heard me, but did you hear that they've turned around now and said there's no fans at all going to the Olympics in Tokyo?
yeah.
They've banned them all.
Well, I've been doing a lot of work with Japan recently, and they're having a very hard time of it there for sure.
They haven't
And
got-
didn't they have it covered at one point?
Yeah, they did, but I don't think, like a bit like Australia, they haven't really got their vaccination program. There's a lot of countries that really haven't got their vaccination program going.
Yeah, why is Australia so sort of behind in that?
I don't know. Ask
understand.
Messi.
Nestlers, do we have any communications on social media platforms?
Let me have a look. Twitter, no. Up to date on YouTube. Aaron Shrishkaharan says hi.
Ooh, that has passed the outside edge of Milan. Who plays doesn't just play the shot he wanted to play. He actually replayed the false shot, which was rather an interesting approach.
I think he was just trying to guide it down at third man, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was, but the way he sort of jabbed at it in the, once the ball had gone and he played it the second time, was almost as though he was replaying that, which is rather interesting. Fahim Ashraf again with his lively medium. Compact player, beautifully trimmed beard for Fahim Ashraf. That one steered off his hip down to long leg by Milan. More sensible batting, another simple, easy single taken. Milan's having a look at his bat. Perhaps maybe it was that under edge that got that rather fortuitous 4 to take it to 50. They're still troubling him a wee bit. Yeah, he's not happy about something with that bat, is he?
Yeah, I think maybe the handle's gone.
Could
Or
be.
on its
108
way
for
out.
1.
Wow.
The other thing is, England never going to have to bat first this summer in an ODI or a T20.
Well, it would depend on the toss, I would guess. They do keep winning them, as this one is dropped into the onside, and they have to hurry a little bit, but they knew precisely what they were doing. I'm looking at Milan's most recent innings. 76, of course. They've all been international. None for Yorkshire because he had the time off, didn't he, for the personal reasons. But he had a run, which he said wasn't a run. In fact, he was really snitty when he was asked about it. It was a run of poor form. He said, don't know what you mean, even though he'd had a 6, a 2, a 7 and a 4. But that 76 that he got at Southampton was very much a return to his more, positive numbers that made him the fastest man to 1,000 runs in T20 history, as this one is edged, I think, given as wide. Mohammed Rizwan went across, and he's look at him, he's laughing
Well, he's just
all over
taking
his
a
face.
piss, isn't he?
He's going, "I'm mad, me."
He knows they've lost. He's just having a laugh.
I don't think Barbara Azam's quite as amused at the conversation there.
Just quickly, Pliskova.
And it was a wide, yes.
Pliskova is in the final against Barty. She beat Sabalenka in 3 in the other semi-final.
There's your Wimbledon update.
Yes.
It's for him.
Sweet shot.
That is driven beautifully through extra cover. That'll do, as they say in Yorkshire, which of course is Darren Milan's spiritual home.
And in the men's, they've just decided to give the trophy to Novak Djokovic because they can't be bothered to go through with it all.
He's going to batter whoever he plays, isn't he? Looks unstoppable.
Yeah.
That was a super shot by Milan. Everything was right. He does play that shot so well. It was a little bit uppish, maybe, if you were going to be critical, but I think he knew. Well, actually,
it was very uppish.
there was a man at shortish extra cover who looked like he might be in the game, but this one is more conservatively dabbed down to third man by Milan, who walks another single. 28 now the target from 194 balls. Are we going to finish it during our spell, gentlemen?
Yeah, we've got 12 balls left, 27 runs required. Depends if they decide to go mental.
Probably unlikely then.
Satan by name says, this is unbelievable with this many debutants. It's very good.
Yeah, it is.
It is. You have to factor in a degree of rustiness for, and who knows what 10 days in the world wait as this one is left by. 10 days in the Derby Travelodge can do to a man.
I don't think they were in a Travelodge, were they?
They were, because they were staying at the Derby County Ground, and the hotel on the ground there is a Travelodge. So that's precisely where they were.
God, I thought they'd be
It's a very
staying in
nice
some
one.
5-star hotel.
No. Well, I mean, with COVID protocols and bubbles and all of those kind of things, then to keep them together, it gives them the ground, the practice area, self-contained. It is actually, if I think of it even geographically, it's sort of quite separated from everything. It could make them very, very self-contained.
All right.
Assuming that none of them did a Durham trip, or a Derby trip, centre of Derby.
Messi just says the reason Australia is so behind on vaccinations is that we have a grossly incompetent federal government that's been asleep at the wheel.
Shadab Khan is in, and Milan turns it off his legs down to square leg. They don't seem inclined, Bear, to, as you put it so brilliantly, go mental. I think they're going to get there in their own sweet time, based upon the balls that they'll deliver to them, aren't they?
I mean, that's the right way to do it, to be fair.
Yes, it is.
We just want to get it over and done with as good as well. I mean, I told the wife I wouldn't be home until about 10, assuming this is going to go the whole distance.
Mate, that's a licence. You go.
They want to hear Grubby.
I'd be straight up to the Woodhouse then.
No, I'm recovering.
In comes Shadab. Hair of the dog. This one is whipped away by Crawley, who'll get another single. Nice little tickle off his legs by Zach Crawley, who's been probably the quieter of the two in this partnership. He's worked his way to 41 in relatively untroubled manner.
I'll break off.
Yeah, gets through him quickly to Shadab. Forward comes Milan, steers it through a bit of a fumbled mid-wicket field, and will get another single. Takes him on to 61 and England on to 118.
I've got this feeling that England are going to lose on Sunday, and then Hendo's just going to explode on WhatsApp.
Are you talking about football now?
Yeah.
Oh, back foot by Milan. That
was
one is short.
That was Crawley.
Crawley, I beg your pardon. But either way, it was onto the back foot, yes, the right-hander. And punched emphatically through mid-wicket for 4. There's a leg break, but short, and Crawley tucked into it. Sorry, Nestlers.
I was going to say, Satan by name says, when will Boris the Cockwomble be sporting an England cricket shirt?
Who knows, when there's a chance to make real glory about it. I'm not sure beating an undercooked Pakistan with our C team would count as that, as this is steered to mid-on. It's another single.
Yeah, but they're foreign. He doesn't like foreigners. Churchill, Brexit.
Shadab in Milan, back foot, guided round the corner, takes another single. It's all very, well, what's the word? Predictable, really, I suppose, right at the moment. To be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed from Pakistan's perspective. I mean, I'm very happy that England's depth of resources and players like Simpson have been able to come in. We're not going to see whether James Vince's, return to the bar of the last chance saloon is going to get him anything. I suppose we might do in the ODIs that follow, but it doesn't look like he's going to bat today, does it?
I mean, Pakistan have got some class players clearly, and and they just had a bad day at the office, haven't they? It does help when your opening bowler gets two of their best batsmen out in the first over. And
well, that was extraordinary. First ball of the first over, no less. As this one is steered again by Milan, this time down to third man. 125 for 103, this partnership, which has been excellent from an England perspective. Two players who probably do want to make a statement in this format of the game are comfortably making it.
Yeah, you have to say, if this is going a full distance, looking at the way they're going, we'll be on for about 300. It's about a par score. I mean,
yeah, it's been an interesting wicket. It's taken some turn. There was movement in the air and off the seam for England's bowlers. Pakistan haven't quite looked as penetrative, have they?
No.
As onto the back foot goes Crawley. Down to third man it goes. He was keen for a second. Don't think it was there. Milan wasn't even looking, so he'd obviously decided it wasn't there.
This is very, very, very straightforward for England.
As you've slid down so far, I can actually just see basically top of your glasses, or I can see you're waving at me.
I'm relaxed.
Is that your bed behind you?
No, it's the other room.
Oh, the other room. I remember you've been in the other room before.
You can sleep on there if you come round.
You look like you're about to.
But no one does.
Yeah, indeed. As we wait, and Milan, almost Williamson-esque in the way he just angles the bat and lets the ball roll off it down to third man and get a single. 47 for Crawley, 64 for Milan.
I wouldn't have
15 is all that England need
to call this a study.
But is it used as a study with your bed?
I don't know. What's a study?
Well, a study is is your office normally, I would say. A bed, maybe a bedroom too, but if you use it as your office, you could call it a study.
It's a junk room as well.
Crawley's going to face Fahim Ashraf, and he whips him backward of square, but there's a man down there, and will just be a single again.
Who's due on next?
Knackle.
Yeah.
And
Hendo,
I think. Knackle, Hendo, and it's me again.
Yeah.
I'm still
there. Are you going to insist Hendo comes on just to annoy him?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure, yeah.
For like 3 runs.
If how many overs do we have?
I don't know.
I'll let you know in a minute.
This will be
back foot by Milan. They run a very quick single. Good running. Reduces the runs needed down to 13. This is the 20th over.
Yeah.
So we are due a change at the end of this over to the aforementioned crew, which will be Knackle, Hendo, and apparently me.
Is Hendo actually going to make an appearance, or is he going to go? Oh, you guys.
Well, he's there. No, he's there.
I know he's
29
there.
for 1. 120. I am here. He says.
He's there.
Do you remember Horton Finds a Who? All those tiny little people go, we are here, we are here. 129 for 1. Fahim is in. Up onto his toes. Driven sweetly away. Well, sort of glided, sort of cut away, really. But anyway, it's gone down to backward point. Crawley has his 50. And England's target reduced to 9.
My name is Lakhan. My name is
50 runs. You're 50 runs. Well done, well done. Well done, well done. 50 runs. You're 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
Or the job is very nearly completed. Tony, it is approaching its place of residence.
What is?
It's a fancy cricket way of saying it's coming home.
Oh, it's coming home. I thought that's what you meant, but I wasn't sure whether you were referring to the football.
It's a bit more low key than the events of yesterday. As Shadab Khan is in, and Darren Milan nearly gives it away towards the end, nearly chips it straight to short mid wicket Imam ul Haq. But
I've got a feeling, did that go through Imam ul Haq? I think it did, because look at the way he's holding his.
It bounced before him and then went through.
Okay.
Darren Milan moves to 66. Yeah, not bad if you can get a one-day debut, a 50 on your debut, well over a run of ball. He's looked more and more confident as this game's gone on. It's been a bit of an open-air net for England, to be honest, in the last few overs, as Crawley punches a ball down to long on, just 7 needed. To be honest, there's not much you can say about this bowling performance from Pakistan. They were on a hiding to nothing. On the leg stump from Shadab Khan, Milan clips into the onside, another single. The game was not completely done because weird things can happen, but it would have taken something absolutely extraordinary for Pakistan to win after being bowled out for 141. Hendo Crawley's looking a lot more, I'll come to that after this ball, but Crawley's looking an awful lot more assured of himself as he clips this out into the onside. There might be 2 out to deep square leg, there will be as the fielder has to come round. Yeah, everything is looking a lot more smooth.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of dodgy moments, didn't he? He seemed a little bit uncertain in his stroke play when he first came in. We saw that against New Zealand as well. But when he's played his shots, he's played them really well. I mean, that punch off the back foot through mid-wicket or straight at mid-wicket was delightful.
Yeah, whenever you see someone playing off the back foot vertically back through the onside, it always looked good. As Barber, both of his, in fact, Imam wearing the 2 caps, both of them fall off as he feels this at point, and there is no run.
Well, English sport is in the ascendancy at the moment, isn't it? It really is.
Tossed up, Zach Crawley has probably the most ugly shot he's played all day. It's a bit of a swipe into the onside, and Shaheen fields it long on.
I mean, it's good that he's playing some shots and he's feeling the bat on ball, and that he's playing some nice strokes. But it doesn't really tell you that much about how he might go were he retained by England for the India series, which is the crucial one.
Yeah, if you were doing a "what have we learned" piece, you wouldn't be able to tell that much about from the batting, to be honest. I
don't think so.
As we have a change of bowling after Shadab goes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A man who's pretty more of a, bowls a little bit. Sod Shakil on one-day international debut is getting a bowl and looks fairly happy about it. Why not?
Well, let me tell you about the way he hooked, the way he bowled, and the slowness of the ball. He wasn't spinning much, he seemed in quite good touch. He's such a keel.
Yeah, a record of a tidy part-timer as he's in. Also perfectly acceptable left-arm slow finger spin delivery, and it's pushed into the offside. Imam fields single to win, 2 to win off 173 balls.
2 to win from? It's incredible, isn't it? Really, it is getting quite dark there, isn't it? There is this cloud sort of hovering nearby, but it's not going to bother anyone today because we're going to finish so early.
Well, yes, even if it did start raining now, we're past the 20 overs, so a game has been affected. As this one skids on, as Shakil goes round the wicket to Milan, and he blocks that to the bowler. There is no run. Pakistan will come back. They've got a team full of very good players. Saqib won't be that extraordinary every time. In comes Saud Shakil, clipped by Milan into the onside. There is no run. Wonder if he'll try and win it in a blaze of glory.
I don't think he will, Milan. I mean, he'll just get his nice not out, his nice Reading. Yeah, I think Pakistan will come back, but it has shown that they've been very scratchy today. They're a much better team than this.
Clipped by Dan Milan into the onside. Will they come back for 2? No, they won't. Just a single, and the scores are level.
But it's good, England. 2 guys, fringe guys, definitely. Or maybe not so much Milan. Milan, I think, should be in there. But certainly should be in the first team squad. Crawley, I think he's got the ability to be a good one-day player, definitely. But there's just too many good players around at the moment.
He doesn't have a record that fills you with fear if you're looking at him as a one-day international batter, but it is he, Zach Crawley, who gets to hit the winning runs on debut. England have thumped Pakistan by 9 wickets with 28.1 overs to spare. It was the Saqib Mahmood show really earlier. 2 wickets in his first over, ended up with 4 for 42. Good contributions as well from Lewis Gregory, Bryden Carse, even though he didn't take a wicket, Matt Parkinson with his 2, Craig Overton with a couple of late wickets. Only Fakhar Zaman and briefly Sohaib Maqsood and Shadab Khan put up any sort of meaningful resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pakistan players not getting out of single figures. Phil Salt missed out on some potentially cheap runs on ODI debut, but he'll have the series, one would imagine Shaheen Shah Afridi the only wicket taker, but Darren Milan finishes with 68 not out off 69. Zach Crawley finishes with 58 not out off 50, and that has been a thoroughly professional performance by this England B&a-half team.
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that, can you? A 9-wicket win by a team that's been strung together at the last minute, and maybe these guys got a bit to prove that they've got their opportunity, and they've come out and done really well. And the bowling was excellent, generally speaking. Craig Overton, he picked up 2 wickets. It wasn't as impressive as the others, I have to say, but a 9-wicket win against a highly talented side who didn't really show their talent today, it has to be said. No. There were a couple of unlucky dismissals. The run out came at a really crucial point when Maqsood and Fakhar Zaman were getting Pakistan back into the game. But once they only scored 142, you felt, even with this so-called B team, that England had enough ability in that team to win, and they've done it very easily indeed. There's even an innings for James Vince, Ben Stokes, and Simpson, Gregory not required. It's been good to see. Actually, good to see that there is such strength in depth in this England white ball team or squad.
And you knew about it when you see the likes of, not just in the Blast, but when you see Salt and Vince and Dan Lawrence in other formats, and Will Jacks scoring runs elsewhere around the world, and you see there is strength in depth throughout the English white ball system. This mode of play that they've taken on since Owen Morgan, the kind of evolution of the McCullum thing, has built its way through the system, and so you can put a squad together at 36 hours notice, and it ends up looking pretty good.
Absolutely. Let me bring you some final tweets. Jay Grover is more than upset finding that us plutocrats have more than 2 rooms in our houses. Don't have too many more than 2, but there you go. Ravi Nair says, it's amazing, isn't it, how good English batters look when the pressure is off. Yeah, there is that. Tony Bishop has sent us a lovely picture of Mr. and Mrs. Luigi the Magpies. Calling England's winning runs. Brian 001 says, English sport in the ascendancy. Who, where? Soccer and cricket maybe, but not rugby, rugby league, volleyball, sailing, motorcycling, marbles, yoga, Thai boxing. Well, hang on a moment. I mean, if you wanted to expand it to British sport, we've been pretty good in sailing for many years, pretty darn good in cycling.
Rowing.
So, I'm really thinking about 2 days in which England have got through to their first final for 50-odd years in football, and they put out a B team against Pakistan and have run away with it by 9 wickets. I think that strikes me as a pretty good 24 hours of English sport by any standard.
It's been pretty less than, really. Less than 24 hours. It's been a quite good couple of days if you're an England men's sports fan as well.
Good in one sense. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed that this match hasn't gone further. I mean, we had 3 fairly disappointing matches against Sri Lanka. I wanted something a little bit more competitive. This one hasn't ended up being so, but hopefully on Saturday we'll get a much better game. It's going to be in front of supposedly a full crowd at Lord's, although I saw that I got an email the other day offering me the chance to buy tickets.
Yeah, I saw that. I got one of those as well.
So I don't know how full it's going to be. Maybe people are saving their money for Sunday and the big match in another part of northwest London. Anyway, that's it from us for today. There seem to be no more tweets coming through, apart from a retweet of the lovely magpies that have been adorning the chairs outside Tony's back window. So we will be back on Saturday with a pretty similar crew, I think. 1 or 2 additions to the staffing.
We might just have a complete change the night before.
Oh, that's a good point, isn't it? Yeah, I've had a bit of a sore throat today, and so I might go and have a lateral test. So yeah, you may not see me on Saturday.
So your anchor on Saturday will be Alex Hales.
Yes, absolutely. Alex Hales is the only man who could replace me. He's the only more flamboyant person than I am. Anyway, that's it from all of us. Thank you very much for joining us. Shame it wasn't longer. It's barely been 5 hours of cricket, hasn't it? When you're kind of expecting 8, you feel a bit shortchanged, but there's always Netflix. Anyway, until Saturday morning at around about 10 to 11, when I expect England will name pretty much an unchanged side, we all say good night from Gorilla. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Guard man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency.